The Ball Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. Ball Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
And live from Hub City Deli, it's the Jackson Christian Eagles Show. And what a lineup we've got for you tonight. And you don't want to miss it. You've got time to call 5 friends. And before we get into the great interviews, we're going to have Coach Gillum is with us. Of course, the players are Austin Kelly, Easton Jones, and Ty Smith. We'll have talk about last week's game. We'll have talk about the Ezell Harding game and wonderful interviews in the middle. And without further ado, I'm going to say, here's Brian and Darby.
Appreciate it, Coach Joe. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, doing a different night with Halloween activities and things that will be taking place tomorrow. So we're excited to be here at Hub City and talk a little football, talk last week, like you said, and then moving forward into playoffs. And it's a great time of year. Coach P was talking about that today. So, Coach Palmer, just want to kind of get we know how last week turned out for us, and you fall short of one of our goals and one of our things that we're trying to accomplish. But there's still another season now starting. But let's talk about TCA and kind of the obvious. You lose Jay and he goes down, and then we're kind of shuffling and trying to stop their offense, and they did a lot of good stuff offensively. Talk about some challenges that they pose for us.
Well, anytime you lose a player, one of your leaders like Jalen and what he is, there's going to be a little bit of a drop-off, especially how we lost him with the injury. I feel like we had a lot of momentum in the first half, up a couple scores on them. And then coming out in the third quarter, they were able to go on a long drive. They made some good adjustments at halftime, and then I believe that's when they had the squib kick that went off one of our frontline guys, and just several unfortunate incidents that a few turnovers. I think we only ran 3 plays in the third quarter. And anytime you do that, and we talk about it at practice with our guys and in meetings, it's about execution and doing our jobs. And we didn't do that the third quarter. We got to own that and move forward, and I feel like our guys have. And we had a great practice today, getting back to the basics and who we are, the standard in our program. And we're excited about the opportunity being first round of the playoffs, hosting a home game.
So, obviously we know the result. Just kind of running down some defensive notes here. You got guys like Cedric with 18 tackles, Gavin Walker 14, Eli Craig 14 tackles. I mean, it was a battle. It was a battle every single play. And our defense answered the call. We just struggled to get things going offensively. But what you like to see, and Coach, you can talk about this too a little bit. What you like to see is, just like we talk all year about adversity, and that was our message after the game of, this can hurt and you can be upset and all those things, the emotions that you're feeling right now. But at the same time, you got a new season coming,
Yep.
And an opportunity to move past this and give credit to TCA, give credit to their coaching staff. Mm-hmm. They came out, executed, stayed the course and what they wanted to do, and it paid off for them in the end.
Absolutely. Darby, I got to ask you and Brian both. Our defense in the second half, you've already alluded, we only had 3 offensive plays. I know they put 27 total points up on the game. But, folks, if you don't appreciate our defense and say something to them, those young men, they never gave up. They hustled, they did all, and they were tired. You could tell, but they reached down, and the effort was there.
Oh, the effort's always going to be there with those guys. That's who they are. That's the culture in our program, especially defensively. We want to get 11 hats to the ball. And you look at a guy like Cedric Anderson, Easton Jones, Gavin Walker, Eli Craig, and I think we had one more in double-digit tackles. But they're doing everything they can to make sure that the defense has success, and they're giving their all. And that's all you can ask for.
Oh, absolutely. Cedric. And Cedric is a big man. did what y'all asked. He lost weight and stuff. But that young man he didn't go from the outside guard gap, the B gap, to B gap. He went from A gap to C gap all night. He was hustling. You saw Gavin walk. Gavin was everywhere. And Eli, well, that's expected. Eli's coming, I can tell you that. And we like to talk. But, some other young men did a real good job. Kai, with how we had to defense, they tried to spread us out. I thought Kai did a very good job of getting places, and he took a little knick-knack injury, too, during the game.
He did, and trying to get him healthy this week and get him ready to go. But Coach Bull already alluded to it. We challenged him with adversity. Football teaches you a lot of lessons in life. And a lot of times it's how you get back up, and it's your next best action that you take. Last Friday didn't go the way that we wanted it to and the way we planned it out, but it's all about that next step, and I think our guys are ready to take that.
Yeah, 2 games or 2 phrases, next man up, and, hey, last game, next game. And next game is now important, just like the next man up is. And, yes, you don't lose a player of Jalen's caliber, but I think I know enough about these young men you can talk about. They're going to step up because their buddy is hurt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we knew that going into it, and we saw it, today at practice and how everybody has responded and rallied together, and we're excited about this playoffs and hosting Ezel Harding.
Oh, absolutely. I got some good comments here. Several people, including April DeBerry, says family. And that's great. We've got our fans buying into that culture and stuff. And it's hard week of work. We make adjustments, and we'll let you talk about this week. And then, Coach, if you've got some more questions, I didn't mean to take over, but I get so excited when I talk to you guys.
So what I appreciate about let's talk about that for a second, our community. You go up and your family's working a basketball tournament, and we'll hit on the basketball tournament that was going on this weekend. But it wasn't a lot of questioning. It was a lot of, you guys got it. There's going to be folks step up, all those things, and man, there's not another community like the Jackson Christian community. And you saw it at the game Thursday. You saw it after the game. You see it on Friday, on Saturday. And so we're blessed to be a part of this. But here's the reality, and that's Ezel Harding, and that is the number one goal. And the number one, our job now is to earn another game. And so that's the message, and those guys showed that today. And Coach Palmer, I want you to talk a little bit about Ezel, talk about some weapons and some things that we are keying in on, and what kind of challenges they'll present Friday.
Yeah, offensively for Ezel, they're going to get in a lot of tight end wing sets and H-back sets and look to spread us out and get into some empty looks. So we have to be – and we always have to know where their athletes are and where they're going to try to line them up and get them the ball. They like to get their playmakers the ball, especially downfield, take shots. So our secondary is going to have to be on their game. They're going to get in a few unbalanced sets, and so we got to make sure that we're communicating at a high level constantly. And defensively, they're looking to cause a little chaos. They're going to be in a lot of man looks, man coverages. Look to disguise their blitzes, blitz off the edge. So we're going to have to really hit our hots, get our eyes up, and get our eyes downfield.
So, this is a team that, if I'm not mistaken, went 8-man, and then they're back playing 11-man football, obviously, and a lot of confidence. And they've got a guy leading them that, he's been at some really good programs. We were talking about that before the show. The best thing is, and we talk about this every single week, it's another opportunity. And it's an opportunity for these guys to come out and to in front of a home crowd and get to display the culture and the family that they've done all year.
And the phrase that we always use in practice when it comes to playoff time, you're guaranteed 48 minutes and you got to go earn 48 more. And today, our guys did a great job, especially with defensive alignment, communicating our checks in the back half of our defense. And I feel like our offensive sessions went really well today. So our guys are really buying in, and we look forward to having the best Tuesday practice we've ever had.
That sounds good. This was a learning experience. You can gather something, and you learn, you move on, you improve. 2 words, Prepare, or actually a couple of words, preparing for the future and focus. Can you make a quick comment about those important words?
Well, we always want to prepare our guys not only for the game and games to come, but also life. I feel like we take pride in that as a coaching staff, is we want to prepare these guys to be better husbands, better fathers, better community leaders, and we feel like we have a locker room full of those guys, and that when times get hard and when adversity strikes, we lock arms and we get things done. I hope that describes a Jackson Christian football player and who they're going to be.
No, it does describe the Jackson Christian. I get to watch it from a different angle as an old coach, but then up in the booth. You coaches, and we've got another one of our fine coaches later coming on, y'all have done a good job, and these kids are pulling together. Talk to our 3 guests tonight, and this is what Jackson Christian is all about. Family, folks, family. Guys, any quick word, and then we've got to take our first break. Boy, time flies in here.
I was just Thursday, not the result, but the fans and the atmosphere and the support that they showed, and just proud to be a part of it and excited for playoff football.
Absolutely, and I'm proud of all 2,900 of you that looked at the game, not counting. I haven't gotten the official count from Paul on people that watch replays and stuff like that. And I'm proud of our fans. I'm proud of our team and our coaches. And with that, we're going to come back from Hub City Deli in about 30 seconds, and we will have a very special coaching guest, Coach Gillum. Let's take that time out.
Psst, buddy, I'm not feeling too good after all this summer heat.
Yeah, me either. I think I'm about to blow a coil.
Let McCoy's Heating and Air give your unit a little TLC. Maintenance is the key to staying worry-free. Right now, schedule a one-time cleaning for only $90. Call 731-668-7492 or visit airmccoy.com.
McCoy's got us in great shape. Unlike that guy.
Jackson's most trusted team of technicians. York and McCoy's Heating and Air.
Another exciting Eagle show from the Hub City Deli. We have our guest stepping in here. I think he's got a fan club, too, from what I – got a lot of fans, and we've got them like April DeBerry, Larry Craig, Landon Dean. You know – well, you tech guys know Landon quite well. Landon's watching, and Bill Hamilton and our good friend Jimmy Wright, Joan Bird, and Ben Vargason is watching. Brother Ben, big supporter, but let's get to this. This is one of the finest men I know. I know more about him than he does about me. He is one of Jackson's finest. And I guarantee you, this is a gentleman when not only can we be proud of him for his police work, but he is a really good coach. He's a motivator. He gets after it. He eats, breathes, and sleeps it. And I'm going to let Coach Bullard start off with Coach Gillum.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Gillum, defensive line coach. And this guy has this is my 10th year. And I believe you took off 1 year, but we've been together 9 years coaching. And we started back when we didn't have quite the depth and quite the athletes and the talent that we've been able to kind of stack there. And guys have, the program's just grown. It was nothing against those guys. The numbers were just down. And Coach Gillum's been with us since then. Coach Gillum, talk about kind of that transition from our early years to what it is now and what it looks like and what coaching these guys has meant to you.
The growth of the school helps that a lot. The guys that when we first got here, they set the foundation of what we have today, the hard work they put in. And you can see it through the years. The seniors laid that foundation, and they led through the example with action. And I think that's carried through the years.
So, this defensive line has kind of solidified that for us this year. Talk about the growth of guys like Said, Caleb, Gavin, and to have have an article published about them, and a guy does a story on them, and what that looks like, and kind of your role in their development with that.
Their growth came through just the work they put in through the summer, during the off season. I believe that article helped them out as well to give them the confidence that hey, somebody is watching them, and what they're doing actually matters, and that helps with a lot of D linemen's confidence.
So everybody knows those three guys that are out there on the field most of the snaps on Friday night, but let's talk a little bit about kind of that second and third rotation that have gotten some really good JV reps and some varsity reps, and kind of that development of a whole with our defensive line unit. Just kind of mention a couple guys there and what you've seen and what we could look forward to in the future as well.
Oh yeah, the Ben Patricks, the Nealon Rose, the sleeper has been Jackson Sharp. He's grown so much through the summer. Yeah, those guys are putting in a lot of work, and those front three guys has laid that example through the work that they put in, and I believe it's boosted everyone's confidence seeing that, and I believe the reps that they've taken, especially through the JV games, where they see the work that we put in through the summer actually pay off.
Yeah, in those guys, and we could go down the list. You know, early on, getting guys into a stance, getting guys just with their hands and all of those things, and the drills and the technique that you've been able to implement says a lot about who those guys are because they've worked it. And you know, we could sit here and talk about it all day, but those guys, like you mentioned earlier, have put in the work over the summer in the weight room, all of those things. And Coach Joe, this is he doesn't want me to say this, but this guy is a technician, and I love coaching alongside of him, and he gives his all for those kids every day.
He really does, and you know he looks something that I call it a little different term, but he breaks it down into each small step. He analyzes, but you look for the X factors in each one of your young men, something special that you help them make better. Can you tell us about that?
What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is you take these young men and you coach them individually. Yeah, you coach all the same techniques, but I have noticed you find something that is special in each young man and help him bring out his talents. Like Gavin's got certain talents, and you have improved that. Cedric, you've done wonders. Cedric, one of the nicest young men, but let's be honest, he is one of the most improved players over his time at Jackson Christian.
They all have one thing that you can't coach, and it's really long arms.
Yes.
And in the stuff that I'm teaching them using their arm, their length with their arms create space. Gavin has that along with quickness. He could shed a block and chase down the back. Yeah. Caleb has the just ungodly strength. He has natural strength that a lot of young men don't possess at this age, and he's able to shoot from his hips and knock people back off of the ball. It's the same thing. He's what most people don't see. Said has really flexible hips, so he's able to punch and sit in a double team. And once he feels it leave, he's able to spring out of that and make a tackle.
Absolutely. Now I've got to ask something. Michael Reagan, who is watching and listening, sent a little text, and I understand you were a beast in college. You want to tell him where you played and what you played in college, and he says you were a beast.
I mostly in high school, I was an offensive lineman. I ended up going the JUCO route, Mississippi JUCO. Played 2 years there as an offensive lineman. I came up to Lambeth. Freeze, when he was here, he recruited me to Lambeth, and I was here when the school shut down. So I still had 1 year eligibility, and I ended up transferring to North Alabama and finishing out there.
Some pretty good football plays. And I know all about that Mississippi Junior College. Folks, that's as vicious as some of the smaller D1 schools, because a lot of D1 players eventually come out of the Mississippi Junior Colleges. Coach?
Yeah, I was looking at that comment as well, and this is a guy that we're very fortunate to have on our staff, and this is our first time we've been able to get him on the show with his work schedule and all those things, and we're excited. He builds a connection in ways that some of us don't, and he's able to I call it kind of speak life to him. And so he, just have real conversations. And Coach Gill probably knows things about our guys that we don't, as far as them putting their trust in him and all those things. And he's a guy that uses his life lessons and things he's learned to help build these young men up. And Coach Gillum, just one more question I have for you. Did you expect for us, even with the loss, even with how that went Thursday, be sitting at 9-1 and looking at the best regular season record in school history? Kind of what does that mean to you from the work that you put in at Jackson Christian from your early time to now?
I'm not surprised. It's a culmination of all the work that we put in through the spring and summer, and everything coming together. I'm not surprised. It was 1 week at a time, and we worked all those weeks, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
Coach Gill, this is something that we love to let folks, our guests, kind of say. Is there anything that you would like to say to the audience tonight, to the Jackson Christian community as we head to a break?
We just want to thank you for the support and the trust that you put in the coaching staff, to allow us to coach your sons to become better men, and hopefully we do a good job at that, and they come out to be productive citizens.
There he is, one of Jackson's finest, and also a great football coach, but better than that, he's a great human being. Coach Lewis Gillum will be back when start with the young men in 30 seconds after this valuable timeout from Hub City Deli.
Great American Sports, make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in teen sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour, and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your teen sports. You can email or call us for all your teen sports needs. Great American Sports, make sports an addiction.
Back at Hub City Deli, and we are having fun tonight. We've got a lot of people. We've got people even standing up over in the corner. Wish we could show them on camera, but that's okay. We have our next guest, a young man that one of the better shortstops. He's pretty dadgum good pitcher. Got two pretty good grandfathers that I know both of them, one especially because he used to work radio with him. But he also is a fine young man, and every time he throws a touchdown pass, it sets a new single-season record. Coach Bull, he's all yours first, and then I get him second.
Yes, sir. Austin, thanks for being with us tonight. Just some statistics here. The final regular season stats, you threw for almost 2,400 yards, 36 touchdowns. Austin, talk about I just mentioned this to Coach Gillum, 9-1, best regular season record in school history. Obviously, we would love for that to be 10, but that's sometimes that's how life goes. And talk about what these 10 games have taught you about yourself, and then talk about what it's taught you about our team as a whole.
Yes, sir. Well, starting from last year, I mean, I got to start in the playoffs, and I was pretty nervous and a little antsy, and like coming into practice this year and then starting the first games, like it felt a lot more comfortable, and like playing the games is like almost like practice, but like these 10 games this year and the record that we ended up having was phenomenal, but at the same time everybody wishes we had that one back.
So let's talk about that. We go out, start off strong, some things hit, and they steal the momentum from us. And I like to call it being snake bit. Some things just start going against us there, and give credit to them. They made plays, but talk about from your perspective what that looks like moving forward, and maybe what that loss can kind of teach us about ourselves and how we can respond to it.
I think there's many different ways you can respond to it. I mean, you can take the feel sorry for myself, or you could just suck it up and play hard-nosed football from here on out. And we had some meetings after, and I talked to the players, and I was like, we know we should have won that one. We know things didn't go our way, but we have to be the aggressor from here on out because we still have a chance to go all the way.
So would you say that practice today, would you say that message was what everybody kind of took to heart and they were showing that with how we prepared and how we practiced?
Yes, sir. Coming out to practice today, it was just a different vibe. I mean, everybody was running off the field, running on the field. Everybody's was back and happy to be in pads.
So moving from that and moving into a playoff game. Excited. Anytime we can play at home, anytime we can be in the playoffs, we're very fortunate. Coach Reichard mentioned this at the end of last week that, that would be a lot of teams' last game, last Thursday or last Friday, and we are very fortunate. So what is watching Ezo film? Ezo Harding comes to town. What are some things that not game plan, but some things that you're kind of looking at from an offensive perspective?
Well, I mean, like we've done all year, we get the ball. We always want the ball first, get it, score fast. But Ezo, they got a good front, really good nose guard. Safeties play aggressive, corners aggressive. We got to go out there and play clean football and get the win.
So taking care of the football, something we definitely have to clean up. Uncharacteristic, a couple turnovers there on Thursday night. But, what was the message? You talked a little bit about having the meetings and that. Did we have to do that today at practice, or was it just kind of business as usual, and everybody was ready to roll?
I mean, I tried to get out of the way before come today. I talked to him. I talked to some right after the game. I talked to Deuce. So he was really upset, and he was struggling. And I talked to him, and he understood it. And Deuce had a phenomenal day at practice today. Talked to Craig. He was banged up. Kyle was banged up. A lot of guys were banged up, and talked just one-on-one conversation, and they're ready to go today, and it showed at practice.
Absolutely, Coach.
Austin, I get from you that we're going to be one step quicker. We're going to lock up a little better, and the guys are really focused in on what we've got to do Friday night.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's just how we talk to them, and they're just ready to go. Like, we don't want to practice anymore. We just want to get to Friday night and just play.
And we're going to be focused. I know our Eagles will be ready. Who's your favorite sports hero? Let's have a little fun.
Probably Michael Jordan, just his mindset.
You're a good man. I may have to buy you another meal for saying that. What's the best part of competing?
I've always liked competition. I mean, me and my dad would play like course in the driveway when I was like 3 years old, and he would beat the mess out of me every single time. I used to go home, go inside and cry to Mom. So, I mean, I've always loved competition since I've been a baby.
Absolutely. I love this young man. What about sports movies? What's your favorite sports movie?
Probably Air Bud. Big Air Bud guy.
Really? I love that movie.
Yeah, Lord, yeah. My daughter used to love watching that, and I bet Gary Lockhart over there enjoys watching that movie. And what emotions do you feel? Not quite a fun question. What do you feel while you're out there on the field?
Well, actually, I'm a little bit different than everybody. Like, I'm just calm. Like, it's funny because I play better when I'm tired. I'm not one of those guys that gets all hyped up, and I just like to be calm and take things in and just play off of that.
Well, you evidently anticipated. You're a pitcher. You have to be calm on that mound, and you transfer that to football, or you transfer the calm from football back to pitching, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Oh, what about being on that mound? What's the similarities? Because I contend I can take any pitcher and make a quarterback out of them, and that's not necessarily true, but it's about 98% true. Are the skills both where you can use them in both sports?
Yes, sir, it is.
Say, this is the very smart young men we've got here. Austin, I want you to take this time and talk to everybody out there, the adult fans, your teammates. There are a lot of people, there are students at school listening. It's your turn.
I like to say show up Friday, be loud, cheer on the Eagles, and let's go beat Ezo Harding.
And we're going to get it done, too. I got a good faith. Wish y'all could really take a look at the nice smile Austin has. I can see confidence in his eyes. And, Coach, we're going to have to take a 30-second break. And when we come back, another one of our fine young men here at Hub City Deli.
The best thing to order is when you are sitting at soccer practice, order it through your phone while you're sitting there, and then you go and pick it up.
But you're much more of a planner than me.
I am.
And that's what I love about you.
Yes.
You know, I'm not that prepared. It's more seat in my pants.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
And faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, and if you let him get his footwork going, he will smoke you. Easton Jones and Coach Bullard, I'm going to turn one of the fastest men around here over to you.
Thanks, Coach. Easton, thanks for being back with us again. Some final stats just on the regular season, not final for the year, but for the regular season. 41 carries, 359 yards, 5 touchdowns to go along with 6 receptions, 159 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And defensively, 49 total tackles, and 16 of those coming last Thursday against TCA. Easton, I want you to as a whole, we're not happy with how things turned out, but I want you to talk a little bit about that touchdown there in the first half that you were able to score from Austin, and talk about the execution on that play.
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect pass, perfect play call, and I just went up there and made the play.
So I don't remember the exact yardage on it. I think it was 60-something yards, maybe, something like that. 16 tackles, and all of those against a good sophomore running back that's a load. He runs hard, all those things. What was it like being out there in that game? I kind of looked like it looked from the sideline like it was about a car wreck every play. You were throwing your body around, being relentless. Talk about that and what you saw from your perspective.
I mean, the running back he's good, he's big, but I just had to know I was going to have to hit him low every time and make a play.
So, they made more plays than we did, and that's kind of how football goes sometimes. But talk about it, and I talked with Austin, your mindset after the game and what your message has been to your teammates and to your brothers on the football team.
I mean, the game sucked, losing, but you got to go to the next one and know that we'll have another chance in the playoffs. So on to the next game. So,
Coach Joe, before you ask him some of your good, fun questions over there, Easton, we got back at it today, and we're able to get back out there on the practice field. What do you expect Friday from Ezo Harding coming in, coming to our place, and what do you expect in that game?
I think we're going to get the job done. I mean, it's probably a hard game, but I know our fans will back us up and teammates will back us up.
Absolutely, Coach.
Well, I've got to ask him one more technical question. What do you like best about playing the Eagle position on our defense, which you do so well?
I love it. I mean, I get to tackle people. I get to coverage, make picks. So I love it.
And, of course, the other thing is just how quick are you? Because once you get those feet going, not many people are going to catch you from behind.
Yes,
are
sir.
you 4.4, 4.5?
I haven't got my 40 time, but I've got my 60. It was 6'6".
I can live with that. You can play on my team anytime you want to. Let's have a little fun. Favorite sports hero?
I'd say Ronald Acuna Jr. for baseball and Chris McCaffrey for football.
Very good choices. Now, at Jackson Christian, is there any other athlete besides yourself that you like watching? And, of course, while you're playing on the field, it's kind of tough to watch. But who do you like? And it could be in any sport now.
Jalen Mosley. I mean, I love that guy. He's a good player.
Absolutely. I still remember that Coach Bull's call last year on that 65 to 70-foot shot he hit against TCA was a great one. Now, what about a favorite sports movie?
Probably The Longest Yard or Field of Dreams.
And I'm going to ask you a music question. What do you listen to before a game, or what song puts you into a good mood?
I like pretty much anything, but before a game, I'd say rock, Motley Crue.
Okay, Motley Crue. Any particular Motley Crue song?
Kickstart My Heart.
Okay, Bass plays that.
I gotta ask. We hear music coming from the locker room. Who has the aux when all the rock's being played?
It's usually Blake is the person that has the Hawks usually.
And they got some. Normally, I don't agree with the taste, but Coach Joe, they've got some good taste and some rock music in there.
Oh, listen, they play better music than Seabass does. And he kind of considers himself a disc jockey. And for folks that don't know Seabass, that's Jamie Parker. That's my running mate on the cheap seats and our sports director up at 1015. This one, I don't even like asking it, but I'd already checked it for you. If you weren't playing football, which would be a travesty, what sport would you play?
Well, besides baseball too.
Well, you can play. Yeah, you can play if you'd rather play baseball. And I don't mean to have it sound that way. This young man's good at both, but it would be baseball, wouldn't it?
Oh, probably baseball or track.
Baseball, track. What lesson can you transfer from baseball to football or football to baseball?
I mean, you just got to go there and get 110% every play.
Absolutely. Coach, he's done another fine job. This is twice, and we know we're getting some young men on that we needed to get back on. It's your turn to say anything to those wonderful Jackson Christian fans, both adult and student.
Go Eagles, that's all I got to say.
Nothing wrong with that. Short to the point. Yep, short to the point, and he will run to the point. He will tackle you on the point. He will do everything. Easton Jones, thank you for being with us, and we will be back in 30 seconds at Hub City Deli. Had an accident and in need of repairs? If you're being towed, make sure the driver knows where to take it. David White Body Shop to expedite the repair process. David White Body Shop has been in business over 42 years. They have factory-trained certified technicians, and they are a direct repair shop for most insurance companies. They make sure your vehicle is repaired to manufacturer's recommendations. Always insist on the professionals at David White Body Shop. We are back, and a couple of other people watching, and Michael Mullenix, who does sports, and he's at Freed Hardman, Michael Reagan, Shane Cisco, and Phil Lewis is watching. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the right guard. And as y'all all know, all you old-timers, there used to be a deodorant that protected you called Right Guard, made by Gillette. And I'm going to introduce you to the man that helps protect our quarterback and our running backs. This is Ty. He's all yours, Coach.
Ty, thanks for being with us tonight. And, as I do with offensive linemen, you don't have your own specific stats, but I love to put these out here. Part of an offensive line, 1,600 yards rushing, along with almost 2,500 yards passing. Ty, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Austin. 9-1, best record, regular season in school history. We would love for that to be 10. But I want you to talk about your experience through these 10 games as a senior, what this has meant to you, and what these 10 games have taught us moving forward to the playoffs.
Man, Coach, looking back, I was just thinking about this like 2 nights ago laying in bed because it just hit me all of a sudden. Like I'm just so proud of myself. I'm proud of the team because, like, looking back, starting from spring, I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we pulled together and we just started doing us. And that's all it took. And it was one game after the other. So
you mentioned that, pulling together. We lost a lot off last year's offense. Some really great seniors, some guys that put up really good numbers, some guys that just did their job, mix of different kids there. And so a little bit is the expectation was we might take a step back.
Yes, sir.
And we talked about this probably your first time on here. But what has this offensive line done to, we know about the passing numbers. We know about what we've been able to do through the air. But what offsets that are those 1,600 yards rushing. What has led to that success and that continuity and us being able to still hang our hat on running the football?
It's all come down to us just locking arms and just fighting because we all care for one another on that line. Before every game, we always say, hey, I got your back. And so I know I got yours. And it's just beautiful. And we just pull together and we just fight. And we just do everything we can to burn that ball down that field.
So when adversity strikes, like it did Thursday, uncharacteristic mistakes from us, and we hadn't turned the ball over that many times all year. Things just go, credit TCA, but things were. It was just a weird night.
Yes,
and so when you were on the sideline, watching our defense give everything they had. What was the message going to your offensive line? Just trying to stay up, just trying to find some positivity there in a few uncharacteristic moments for our team.
We were all saying that we're not giving up and that we're going to go full speed until the final whistle blows. And we just went out there and we did that. We tried.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the message? I heard a little bit of what Austin's take on it was. What was the message within your position group and moving forward from Thursday, trying to get ready for playoffs coming on Monday?
Me and Eli talked to the line. We were talking about how it's in the past. I said, that sucks, but we can learn from it, and all we can do from there is just improve, and that's what we're going to do. So,
9-1.
Yes, sir.
Best regular season record in school history. Moving into a fun season. Fun, it's pressure because it's you win or go home.
Yes, sir.
But, this is what you prepare for. Talk about Ezo Harding and preparation for them coming to our house on Friday.
This is it's going to be a good game. Me and Eli watched film on him earlier. We're like, oh yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a white knuckler, as you call it.
Yep.
So they have some really good athletes, a big defensive line, which most of them are that we go against. Ty, what was practice like today from your perspective? And we had Austin's take on it earlier. What was practice like from your perspective?
Oh, it was awesome. I could just tell, as soon as I walked that locker room, everyone was hyped. We were all ready to go. I didn't see a single person today moping or trying to be like, what about last week, Mm-hmm. And it was just awesome. It was just cool how everyone just banded together, and we just came together naturally, and it was awesome.
Excellent. Coach Joe?
Well, we got a lot to ask. I got to ask Ty this. What about your blocking? Is your favorite block to run block, or is it to pass block?
Oh, it's definitely to run block.
Run block, because you like firing out there. You like knocking those linebackers to kingdom come.
I do.
Oh, and he does it too, folks. What about your favorite sports hero? Let's have a little fun.
I like Tim Tebow. He came to speak at Freed Hardeman, and I went a while ago, and it was just really inspirational to hear him talk and stuff. And
fine Christian young man, isn't he? And he really lives it. And that's what I know you admire, I admire. What about Jackson Christian? You can watch yourself on film, but when you've got a chance, what athlete in any sport do you like watching at Jackson Christian?
I love the basketball games, showing up and just being part of the student section because the energy is insane. And it's just
you're one of those guys that dress up over there.
I don't really dress up. I just
cheer
hard. I just cheer on.
Okay. What's your favorite sports movie?
I had to say The Blind Side. It's such a good movie. Talking about I forgot his name, to be honest with you.
Michael Orr.
That's what it is, Michael Orr, yep. And the story of how they took him in and he became a really good ball player.
He really did, and of course Hugh Freeze, not the guy they had play. And I got to take up for Coach Freeze here. Coach Freeze wasn't as big a doofus as that guy was as a coach. And but Ty, what about after school? Where are we going?
I haven't made my mind up yet, but I know for a fact I want to go for my biology major.
Yeah, very good. And what about a song that puts you in a good mood? What do you listen to before a game, or do you even listen to music before a game?
I listen to music before a game, but I listen to my heavy metal and stuff. I listen to Pantera.
Pantera. Now, Bass has played that. I'm not as familiar with them, but I'm sure it's good. You don't listen to Megadeth, though, do you?
Not that much.
That's old stuff anyway. This young man is very modern, and it's one of those things that you have to do these things to get it. I'm going to give you the chance because I want to hear from Ty. This young man could be a philosopher if he wanted to. He's very smart. He knows how to get his teammates. He and Eli do a good job there with them. Ty, what do you want to say to the fans of Jackson Christian?
I'm just really thankful for all the support that y'all have given us. It's insane. Even when we're traveling an hour and a half away, we have a student section still be there, parents and people still show up, and it's just game changing because it's a good reminder to hear that crowd behind you cheering, as you make a big play because other people are celebrating with you, and it's just a good feeling.
Absolutely. Coach Bullard, I love all our team, but now on the line, he and a couple of those young men, you know why. And the offensive line guys, they get together. They really have it together. They're the type that, like the old story about where you join hands to sweep the wheat field and find the little girl. And if we join hands, we'll win Friday night, won't we, Ty?
Yes, sir.
And one before we go, sorry to cut you off, Coach. I think it was last Monday in practice, Ty tweaked his back, and we were pretty concerned if he was even going to be able to play Thursday with the short week. But one thing about this kid, if there's a way he can be on the field, he's going to be on the field.
Absolutely.
And you know that the effort and the intensity and the leadership is going to be there. And, you know, the same goes for Austin. The same goes for Easton. Easton just does it in a different way. He's not as vocal about it. And Austin is a little similar in that. But this guy, man, we are so blessed and so grateful that his family came back to us. They were here before and made a move, and his mom does tremendous things in the elementary school, and just there, you know, have his sisters in class and all of those things. And this guy is one, you miss them all, but his impact on the offensive line has been a mainstay. And you know, we're glad he was able to play, glad he was able to get after it. Came up short, but that's why we move on. And the sun came up for us on Thursday, and
absolutely.
We'll get
but
ready
he
for
played,
Friday.
Gave the effort, Coach.
That's
and
right.
He's been a blessing for me too. Ty, we both appreciate you. And when we do basketball, at least come by and wave at us. Who knows? We may stick that headset back on you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, there he is, the one and only, the right guard, not the deodorant that protects, but the guard that protects, fires out, knocks linebackers to kingdom come, and all of that good stuff. We're going to come back, wrap this show up, but we've got all kinds of information. And you don't want to turn it. You need to call people because we got middle school information. We got Ezel Harding information. We got things that you'd never even guess at. So we're going to take the time out at Hub City Deli and come back with our good friend Gary Lockhart over there just running the show. So time out. Whether you're relocating into Jackson or just wanting something new and different, call Kenny Sutherland with 5-Star Real Estate Services. He can help make your dreams become a reality. With over 20 years experience and helping over 1,000 families with their new home purchases, there's a reason that he is your new construction expert and home buying specialist. Call Kenny today, direct at 731-444-1164 or 731-661-9000. We are back for one of the most important wrap-ups on the Jackson Christian Eagle Show here at Hub City Deli, and we want to thank them. I do want to mention some other people. Fran Griffin Baker, great quote. These three guys are amazing ambassadors for Jackson Christian. Brandy McAllister Jones says, great job. And we have one looking good, guys. And Shane Cisco, if I left you out, I didn't mean to, that he is watching. And, you know, we'd love for Shane to come down here sometime. Got a lot of people watching. It's not showing, but I want to say hello to my wife. But now we've got a very important segment. And I think it's very, very important, not only to the school but the future of this program. I'm going to turn over some of these announcements. Don't forget, we're going to talk about Ezel Harding a little bit. Here's Coach Brian Bullard.
Thanks, Coach. Just wanted to make sure we highlight a couple things before we finish tonight. The middle school basketball teams both defeated St. Mary's on Saturday in the Hoops for the House tournament. And if you don't know, if you're not familiar with what this is, it's the kind of the fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald House that's being built there in honor of Ryder Lewis. And you know, they've gone from doing the kind of play days to they're doing a middle school tournament this year and going to transition into a high school tournament, I believe, next year. Just trying to see what the best options are. But teams come together. There's sponsors that donate money. All the proceeds go to this house, and it's going to, you know, Ryder was a tremendous kid from a tremendous family, and this is how his legacy is going to live on. And excited to be a part of that, and you get to watch some good basketball. So we're excited for those two wins there on Saturday. Moving into a little bit of football news, Sawyer Dean, Jeremiah Jenkins, Lauren Michael Short, and Cade Warrington, and Coach Ray will be represented there in the 5th annual West Tennessee Middle School Football All-Star Game. And so we're proud of those guys for their accomplishments, and being selected for this game, and excited to have our fans there. I believe the game's played at Trinity, and
Yes.
so it's close by, and this is a good opportunity for these kids to play another football game before high school. But we're proud of these guys, and I'm excited to have them as part of our high school team next year.
And absolutely. And we had a question on the broadcast that came through because I keep an eye when I can on it. And the reason Cade is not dressed out, he's playing in an all-star game, and they want to know where he was. And he's a middle schooler. We could have brought him up, but at this point in time, he's got this middle school game coming up, and I'm proud of Coach Ray, too.
Three or four of these guys are basketball kids, and we're able to watch them play Saturday. Sawyer doesn't play basketball, but these are good athletes for us, and we will talk about them in a future show. And we had Coach White on last week, and the adversity, talking about adversity and talking about struggles, and they really pulled together this year down the stretch there, and these guys deserve this honor, and we're proud of them.
No, they finished hotter than a $2 pistol I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you fire a $2 pistol in the old days they used to have, it'll burn your hand. It gets so hot you can't hold it. Now, the next on our list, of course, I'm going to mention basketball. I believe first game we're doing on Worthy Road Studios is November the 14th, and Coach Schutz and Coach Teichman have posted their schedules on the Jackson Christian Facebook. We've got a couple other things going there at school. But let's talk about Ezell Harding. Folks, do not let it fool you just because they played 8-man football. 8-man football actually teaches you to play wide-open football. I happen to do a relief stint or a helping stint for Humphreys Academy, and they play 8-man football down in Mississippi, and the scores are like 73-62, 68-59, and things like that. And they've got some athletes. Again, we face a team that's lines are a little bigger than ours.
Yeah, and most of the time, I was joking with Ty, but most of the time we're going to run into bigger fronts than we are. But the good news is we've been playing against big lines all year. We've been playing against good athletes with our schedule and all of those things. And Ezell Harding is no different. They're going to come expecting to win. They have good athletes on the edge. They have a solid box there to contend with, and the thing that we're going to be working on and adjusting is a guy that was a focal point of your offense, and now the question, and it's not really a question, it's just going to be when we watch it, who's going to step up and make plays, and there's athletes you go to practice today and you're signaling in plays and all of those things, and you're just watching the different guys that rotate in and off the field that can get the job done. And it's just coming down to who executes better. And that's any football game. Who executes better, doesn't turn the ball over in all three phases. And, we usually come out with a win. And we talked about this, and we're honest folks, and we just didn't play well the second half, regardless of outside factors or whatever. We didn't execute, and they did. And so it was a great day to get back out on the field. It's going to be a great night to get back out in front of our fans and kind of get that taste out of our mouth.
Absolutely. We had one of those games where TCA played hard and came out and turned up, but the moon, the stars, and the planets didn't line up right. The squib kick could have gotten on through and our back people, and we could have been off to the races.
That was
and
wild,
stuff.
yeah.
And the bad thing, it happened right after they had scored a touchdown. Obviously, that can change momentum and things. But, again, I want to mention the defense again. They gave y'all all they had.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of them. And the offense couldn't show because they only got 3 plays in the third quarter, and that's kind of tough to put anything on the board. And it left our young men. Now, we face a familiar opponent. Coach Stewart up there used to be on Nashville Christian's coaching staff, and so we've dealt with them before. Nothing new. He runs an exciting, wide-open offense. And, Brian, what else do we know about them? I know they once upon a time had a guy named Eric Davis that made it to the New England Patriots roster, and I think he's coaching at Stewart's Creek now.
Yeah, and on our notes here, it's our first meeting with Ezell Harding, so we don't have that past history that we typically do with the other opponents that we play. So it'll be exciting to play a new team, new to us, and it's this time of year. Everybody's preaching the same message. They want to make it to next week. They want to be able to keep their season alive. And anytime that you're fortunate enough to make the playoffs, I've been part of playoff staffs here. I've been part of teams that didn't make it. And so anytime that you can be practicing when it starts to cool off and the trees are turning and all those things, you're blessed. And we're excited to watch their film and continue to watch film and continue to prepare, just like we did today.
Absolutely. Coach, it's a game that you need to tell fans. That was one of the things that someone texted me, not on this but on my own phone, and we do want to recognize a couple of people. But what about tickets? How do you get them? What do they cost? I know there's a two pricing tier, one if you get them early, one if you get them late. Can you fill the fans in on those details?
I believe it is $8 on GoFan and $10 at the gate, I think is what it is. TSSAA passes, TACA passes are the only passes that will get you in. So that's different for our folks because they're used to the booster passes and all of those things. So TSSAA has to get their money, and so all of our fans coming in, unless you have one of those passes, will pay at the gate. Our booster parking is still the same. All of those things that Shane Cisco does a great job with or will remain the same.
Just don't get space 63.
There you go.
I know who parks there.
There you go. But, Coach, other than that, I mean, it's going to be a fun Friday night. I know weather in the 60s, which it's starting to cool off a little bit, which I'm excited about, and can't wait for this opportunity Friday for our guys.
It really is, and our great concession stand will be open. I have to mention them. They flip some pretty good burgers, but the focus is on playing. Some fine young men, family, they'll pull together and they'll give you everything they've got. You don't have to worry about that. And, Brian, any final words before we wrap this up?
No, we appreciate, like I mentioned earlier, at Thursday night against TCA, the fans were awesome, exciting atmosphere, kind of playoff atmosphere. You fall short and you got to get back up. And so our kids did a great job today. We're excited for Friday. The game plan will look a little different, but there's still athletes all over the field for us, guys that are skilled, guys that have been doing this a long time. And so we're excited to see who emerges and kind of, you're built with adversity. Life's not going to be easy. And if we talk about it, if we preach it, we have to show it. And so that was our message to them on Thursday. We talk about what we're made of. We talk about what our program's made of. But now is an opportunity to show that. And, sometimes you grow more. A lot of times you grow more in a loss than you do in a win. And so excited to see how our guys will respond on Friday.
Absolutely. We're going to be like Rocky Balboa, and he said when you get knocked down, you got to get back up. I'm paraphrasing. We have had a great time tonight. Some fine young men. We'll be back on Tuesday night next week. We appreciate all of you watching, and we want to say this is a copyright broadcast. Any reproduction, reuse, or further transmission of this game without the written consent of Worthy Road Studios is prohibited. We want to thank Gary Lockhart and Paul Schultze, and it's time to say thanks for your time. This time till next time. Good night, all.
The Ball Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports.
The Jackson Rockabillys, Union and Bethel Universities, USJ, TCA, JCS, and Peabody.
Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers.
Thanks to the sponsors who make it all possible. Ball Game Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.